On. Hello, and welcome to Geeks Assembled again. And today we are talking about a movie which won our 1980s movie poll. Well, as we say, we had to have the flip of a coin, and this one won the flip of the coin. And it's from 1980. It's the John Landis movie, The Blues Brothers, starring John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, and many, many stars of the soul scene, should we say, in the rhythm and blues. So let's go to Susie W for her opening thoughts on this movie.
Oh, well, I am honored to go first. Well, I tell you, I don't know if this was the first one of the Saturday Night Live movies that developed out of a skit. Not sure. It may have been, but it certainly is the best one that ever came out of Saturday Night Live. Just from the way the movie was made, at the whole beginning of the shot in the prison and with the camera angles up under the gate, I don't know, the floor with where you can see the feet. I'm not speaking very well. Anyway, it took its time setting itself up, which, as we were discussing earlier on a different broadcast, people don't like to watch that much these days. But believe it or not, the cinematography and filmmaking in a which is a Saturday Night Live skit was fabulous, and I just love the movie. It's one of those things I put on whenever I need to smile, or house clean, or both, and it just gets you going, and got a lot of. It's iconic in our culture. I'm on a mission from God. Who doesn't say that? Well, probably not everybody, but I do. And anyway, it's a really great movie. So I'm sure I'll have more to say later. But.
I'm sure you will. Let's move on to Alex and Susan, as their opening thoughts on the Blues Brothers.
Actually I had the longer version with extra scenes, and it's so many cameos, and it's about 70% of the people in the movie sing. You have Frank Oz, you have Ray Charles, you have Aretha Franklin, you have the actual musicians in the band, both from the movie, the album, and the skit. It's very hard to find a good soundtrack that includes all the songs and singles, but you have Aretha Franklin, you have James Brown as the preacher, you have Shaka Khan in the choir, you have Steven Spielberg at the end as the city clerk, you have John Candy as the police chief, you have Carrie Fisher as the murderous ex-girlfriend. You got tons of people. So you have John Lee Hooker singing on the street. I mean, you got so many wonderful blues soul hits. And I don't know if they were making fun of Fame in 1980 when it came. I think it came out like a month after or whatever. But this is like May or June of 1980 when those two movies came out. But all the people doing the sweet potato and the funky chicken in the street, and while Ray Charles is playing on the harpsichord or piano or whatever, it's a little rough. It's an adult movie, but it's very funny. You also have Paul Rubens as the waiter. You have tons of cameos in here.
Yeah, and I think that the restaurant that Paul was waiting tables in was called Chez Paul, which was probably about him, and that's where they picked up Mr. Fantastic or Mr. Amazing. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, the guy with the cornet or the trumpet of death. That was fun. It was super great. I loved the chase scene. I love the chase scene. The chase scene's amazing. I didn't believe about Steven Spielberg. I still have trouble visualizing him. I don't know why, but I do. It's true, and it was cool to stop frame there and see really if it's him. And the other yeah, the other cameo that was really, really amazing was oh boy, it just slipped my mind. Anyway, I'll come back to that later. I'm sure things are kind of like flowing out in a remarkable way. But anyway, it was really brilliant. I really love the interplay. I love the penguin. The penguin was amazing. She was like a wizard. She floated. The doors closed and opened behind her, and then she took the ruler to Jake and Elwood to change their whole reality, which was hilarious and cool. And yeah, I saw so many cool things about that brings it back. The cameo that I was going to mention wasn't a cameo. It was Cab Calloway playing the boiler room, the basement, yeah, who was the caretaker of the orphanage, and he really helped the kids along, and then the kids turned around and helped him along, and he was like, this is all about you guys. And so that was fun. And then he did his amazing opening act with like the Minnie the Moocher, but with like the white band shells, and it was beautiful. It was like the swing bands of the 60s, the 50s and 60s, like Glenn Miller Band and Oscar Peterson and those guys. Yeah, so that was really sweet and really smooth and really fun, and the music was amazing. So that's my bit.
Well, it may come as a surprise, but I'm not a religious person. But this is a feel good movie. I mentioned it earlier today. That's how church services should be done, the James Brown way. All the dancing down the aisles and jumping in the air, and it's once you sit there, because as Susie did mention, it does take its time to get good, but it's setting up the story. It's getting to know the characters, but and it does it in a very good way. And the music as well. As it's been mentioned, was they taking the Michael out of fame at the time or whatever, but dancing in the streets, shaking the tail feathers and all like that. But it works so well. As it's been mentioned, John Lee Hooker in the street singing "Boom Boom Boom." Wow, that is just a classic piece. That was put back into the film. I think that was one of the edited out bits, but it was put back into the film. Yeah, it's got so much going for this movie. See, being a Brit, I never saw the Saturday Night Live skits what John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd did. This was the first, back in the early 80s. This was the first time I got to see the Blues Brothers was the movie, and I was blown away with it. As you say, it's just so many legends in this movie. It's unbelievable. You've got country and western singers, and you've got Nazis, Illinois Nazis.
How does it get back to
You don't need it.
Yeah, you got country.
You don't need anything more than that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
you got
a movie right there.
Yeah, you got country and western. You got blues. You got Peter Gunn. You got John Lee Hooker. You got lots of stuff.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, as you say, as Susan mentioned, the Cab Calloway with Minnie the Moocher. Wow, that scene there with the whole audience singing "Heidi, Heidi Ho" and all that. Brilliant. And as you say, Carrie Fisher, she only speaks at the end. Well, she's in it all the way through, trying to kill him, and failing all the time. But she didn't have much to say in the movie, but she blew me away in it. She was brilliant. I was never a fan of any John Belushi movies, this one is the exception. Dan Aykroyd, yeah, I could watch Dan Aykroyd all day. Because back in the day, he was a funny guy and a very creative guy as well. I mean, he co-wrote this, I think, with John Landis, I think, who was famous for doing American Werewolf in London and the Michael Jackson video we all know and love.
Well, I mean, it's also funny too that Frank Oz is in it at the beginning as the prison clerk.
Is he really? I know that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I can see that. Oh yeah.
So you had a lot of people in here.
I think John Landis just went through his address book and phoned his friends up and said, "Do you want to be in it?" Like with Steven Spielberg. I honestly do.
We're on a mission from God to make a cool movie.
It is a cool. I mean, that's that car chase through the mall. Wow.
Oh my God! Baby clothes. Oh yeah, they got everything in here. Hysterical. Pure wine.
That's it's one of the best chase scenes in movie history. I think it's just iconic.
Yeah.
But any of your favourite? I mean, I know the Nazi party, but they got the comeuppance anyway. But when the car's going down, falling, the driver just turns to his boss. I've always loved you. And then bang straight into the road.
Well, I thought it was very. I thought it was very interesting when they went to that country and western bar, bar,
yes.
and the only choices they can come up with is Rawhide and Stand By Your Man. It's pretty funny.
Rawhide. I can't remember the words.
Chicken wire.
So that was pretty, that was pretty funny. Two guys singing "Stand By Your Man" in a country bar,
and they're all crying. They're all crying hysterically. That was what really got me about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go carry on.
Oh, what really strikes me about the movie is that even with all of those musical legends, your Aretha Franklin, all of those people, those two guys still brought it. They were just as good as anybody else there. I mean, they really had an act that was a musical act. It wasn't just a couple of comedians pretending that they could do this. I mean, it was real blues. It was good. Yeah. And it is such a shame how many people in the movie didn't live that long. Belushi, Candy, and there was one other. I can't remember who it was. In the next movie, it's dedicated to 3. Those were the 2, and then there's the...
Yeah, I mean, I know they tried with the other movies, but it's just not the same. And you don't have the same humor, and you don't have the same timing, and it's a little disappointing. I mean, Dan Aykroyd is still there, but
yeah.
I think they had to use, John Goodman, and then somebody else. No offense to John Goodman, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. But I still enjoyed the other movie. It just
to be honest, I mean, to be honest, I think that the Blues Brothers movie was made at a certain time. It was a little piece of magic, and they bottled it, and you can't make another one like that. As they tried with the Blues Brothers 2000, it just doesn't work. It's that, to me, the Blues Brothers is a one-off piece of magic. You can't. It's just from beginning to end. It's just wonderful. As you say, Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, they recorded several albums as well as the Blues Brothers with the Blues Brothers band. They had a hit in UK with "Everybody Needs Somebody to Love" in about 1990 in the UK.
Are we supposed to be on? There's my shades. This is my brother's cool look here. This is what
we don't have the line where they're in the car in the tunnel. They go.
You know what was fun? The movie was filmed so well that It reminded me in a lot of ways when television first started in the States in, what was it, the 50s or whatever, and basically you took people from the theater and they just did plays on television, and it was really damn good. But as television progressed, the quality went downhill very quickly because they realized they could make it faster and quicker and make more money if they didn't put as much craft into it. And I really got the impression that in this movie, because I hadn't seen it in a long while, and then when I found out this was happening this week, I rewatched it, and it just seemed like it reminded me of one of those Twilight Zone episodes that was so good. And then, because I'm not fond of SNL movies, maybe Wayne's World, but other than that, I'm just not one of those people. But this one it had a lot of filmmaking craft in it, in addition to silly comedy and unlikely plots. But because it was made so well, you went along with it. It wasn't just stupid for the sake of being stupid.
Well, I mean, you gotta admit, I mean, who can resist Aretha Franklin in a waitress uniform singing "Think" with backup dancers, including the Blues Brothers, in her pink slippers? I mean, it's just great.
Yeah. You gotta think. What you gonna do to me? You gotta think.
I think only Aretha Franklin could have pulled that off.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's as I think as people can tell the way we're talking about this movie is pretty special, really.
Yeah.
It's you can't make it. You can't make another one. You can't replace John. I mean, I'm not a fan of John Belushi, but you can't replace him.
Not in this movie,
because it just didn't work. They did. Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi worked so well together. Yeah, they worked so well together in this movie. It was just it's a marvelous piece of cinema, and I just love this. I try and watch this maybe once a year, just to get the feel good factor, because it is a feel good movie. You find that your foot's tapping away, and you do giggle away to yourself at certain things. What happened to say the country western band or the Nazis and, and stuff like that. But, but is there anything in this movie what you could have done without? It just wasn't right.
Well, I mean, I know some people didn't like the chase scene, but that's fine. I mean, they had to do something. It was funny when the car kind of shakes to death at the end. But like I said, I mean, it's not going to be perfect anyway. But I mean, I've shown it to a lot of people, and unless they're really against singing and dancing, they love this movie. I mean, come on, you're in a diner, and you got Aretha Franklin, and you got Ray Charles in his music shop. I mean, it's just funny. It's funny stuff.
Ray Charles with his gun.
I know. Well, that might have been stretching it just a little bit. But I mean, it's not as good. I think what was it? I think there was only 2 other Saturday Night Live movies, Wayne's World, and I forgot the other one. I know Dan Aykroyd did Coneheads, but that's a different type of joke. There was very few movies that translated as well from the skit on Saturday Night Live to the movie and still stand the test of time.
Mm-hmm. Their comic timing, Aykroyd and Belushi's comic timing, after all those years of working together, was amazing. But especially when Susan mentioned the scene in the restaurant, I think it was Mr. Fabulous, the French restaurant, and the 2 of them put their arm in arm and eat shrimp cocktail. And Belushi turns and says, "I want your women. Where's the little girl? I want your women." It's very, very funny. She's just hysterical. And just the fact they got this guy to quit his job in a 5-star Michelin restaurant, I assume, because they threatened to come back every day. I was just like, okay, fine, go on. the band.
Yeah, usually we.
And I love the tramp.
Yeah, usually we have to
Red.
willingly suspend our disbelief, but in this case, it's already gone. You know, the minute, you know, they start the music of the Peter Gunn theme. You know, you're right along with them, and
Yeah. Sorry, Susan. Another famous line. The landlady says, "Are you guys cops?" "No, ma'am. We're musicians."
Yes. Oh my God, I have to remember that. Yeah. Well, that is. I am a musician, so that is a great. I'm just gonna have to remember that. No, ma'am, we're musicians. Oh, it's just they're just so many one-liners.
But I mean, it's the scene with the penguin as well. But it always makes me laugh. But yeah, go on, Susan. What was you going to say?
no, that's all right. It's good.
Good.
Oh,
And in the beginning, when they're coming in,
I'll tell you.
beginning when they're in the car, when Elrod picks up Jake, I remember their names, and they both have their names on their knuckles, and they're in the car, and Jake starts yelling at him, "What's this? What is this car? Where's the Bluesmobile?" And he's yelling at him, and he says, "I traded it. Traded it for what? A microphone." Oh, I can see that. It's like, I don't know. I really did like this movie.
And then he takes out that microphone out of a suitcase that he has handcuffed to his wrist like a secret agent at the very end. I mean, this microphone is worth more than a car. This microphone is worth going to jail for. I mean, this is amazing.
Nuclear codes.
Yeah, nuclear codes.
Yeah, it's
Oh dear.
but it's funny because
To be honest, I think this is going to be a high-scoring movie from all of us here.
did anybody else go to Catholic school, however briefly? No, I lasted 1 year in Catholic school. I can tell you, they were scary. They were scary, but they did put the fear of God in you, and it is funny because even though it's not a philosophical movie, the point is these guys, they were trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, boys, you gotta learn not to talk to nuns like that.
Yeah.
All right, Susan. I didn't go to Catholic school, but I went to supernatural school, and our like the beginning of every day looked like church in that scene. I mean, it was amazing. Like what Lee was saying, it's like, what is church supposed to be like? It's supposed to be like that. So, yeah, that's what. I mean, you mentioned Catholic school, so I just had to share that bit too. And that's Bethel's Supernatural Ministry in Redding, California. Just a shout out here.
So it's like an evangelical where they say hello, hallelujah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Got it. I've been to both kinds of services. They both got their things, but yeah, I loved the trampolines in the church scene.
Yeah.
Those guys just.
Yeah.
Now, if there were trampolines, I would be there every Sunday.
Yeah.
So anyway, I could go on and on.
Well, yeah, I would be as well, but but I can't wait for when we close this cast because Alex is going to do his own rendition of Rawhide.
Rawhide.
Very funny.
That's my favorite.
Music.
I like the beer bottles.
Yeah, of course. In closing, we could also mention that even though it is a very different movie, Dr. Detroit with Dan Aykroyd and James Brown is also in that movie as well. So, 4 years later. So it's very funny because in Dr. Detroit, Dan Aykroyd does introduce James Brown, very, very Jimmy Walker, Good Times kind of way, he is dedicated to say James Brown is the best, the hardest working, So it's very funny in that other movie, even though it's a different movie.
Here, my dog's trying to say hello. Yes, hello.
So,
Hello. Hello. Her name is Emma. Yes, hello, Emma.
oh,
No French kissing.
we love our animals on these casts. So, without further ado, we'll do final thoughts and we'll go for this. We'll go for the scores. I wonder what the scores will be. Let's go to Susie W first.
Well, I mean, I don't know how do you score something like this. I mean, you just it's in a class by itself. So for its class, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Would it win an Academy Award? I'm not sure, but it's certainly it's hysterical and it makes you think in a weird way. But we didn't talk about the final chase. The final chase where they're going to the tax office, and every time they pass a door, they barricade it, and it ends up with this huge army of people, literally, and they're following them, and it's like the invasion of Normandy for these two guys trying to pay tax bill. Of course, that's how I feel whenever I go to pay taxes. But and they're chasing them, and they're standing there, and he pays the bill, and as soon as they pay the tax bill, he turn around, and boom, there's the army. And so, see, they were on a mission from God, and God let them do it. There you go. That's my final thought.
Hallelujah. And moving on,
Hallelujah.
we'll go to Alex and Susan.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the sound of Philadelphia right there. Our illegal ATV season. It's spring. Okay, they're gone now. Sorry.
Actually, we couldn't hear
I
it.
did.
You think that you can, but you can't really hear anything. Just so you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it was the sounds of loud motorcycles going.
Yeah, we don't hear it.
Oh, no.
We do, but we don't.
Oh,
So
oh.
No worries. Just keep on going.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. I will give this 23 out of 10. I love it. I've loved it. I have kept the VHS. It's one of my prized possessions. I hope to heck that it didn't get stolen by those guys who stole my stuff. So I'm just like, yeah, I got to watch it with Alex, and so that was really cool. So yeah, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. A solid gold, chrome plated 10 out of 10.
Soul Train, baby.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I didn't realize it when I first saw it when I was like, 9 or 10 years old, and I was watching it with my parents, and, you know, it's got a little bit of the airplane humor from that movie. It's got in-jokes of in-jokes. It's got 10,000 cameos. It's got blues. It's got soul. It's got soul church. It's got it's just really, really good. And I don't know if they were making fun of Fame or not, but even so, it's just great. And so for the music, I'd give it probably a 20. And for the cameos, I'd give it a 15. And the execution was out of the ballpark. They probably couldn't have done it any better. They also have Twiggy at the end, too. So there's an English person there as well. At the gas station that they blow up. But anyway, there's so little that's wrong with this movie. And, it is a classic. And even though they end up in jail singing Jailhouse Rock, they did it for the right reason.
If this is the movie you want to have a party and drink beer with your friends, this is the movie you want to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's for me. I've said it a few times during the cast, but it is a feel-good movie. Once you've watched it, you come away feeling, happy with yourself that you've sang along to the songs, danced to the songs. I can't fault it. It's a classic. It's a 10 for me. What more can I say? But we're going to go off now from this cast. We're going to go and shake our tail feather. And I'd just like to thank the guys here who took part in this little cast today. Always appreciate it when you turn up. And we welcome Susie W. a new member. Hopefully she'll be on many more, because we like to, have new people. And I think she's enjoyed herself today.
I got my shades.
So, yes, that's all you need. Shades. The future's so bright, you've got to wear shades.
You need shades,
Please leave
country,
comments below.
Western, Nazis.
Not necessarily in that order, but please, if you're watching this, give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down, leave a comment below. What you like about the movie, what you didn't like about the movie, what you like about our cast. If you'd like us to do something in the future, cast-wise, let us know. We're on Tumblr, we're on Twitter, we've got a public Facebook group. So, come and join us. We don't bite. Well, not that much anyway. We nibble every now and again, but we don't bite that much. So, thanks for joining us. Is there Susan, you want to say something before I go?
No.
Me? Her?
Yeah. I'd like to place my order. I'd like some dry white toast and 4 fried chickens and a Coke.
Diet Coke, right? Is it Diet Coke? Not quite a Coke. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'd like dry white.
That's my type of cafe. Dry white toast. Yeah. Brilliant movie. And I say, thanks again for coming and talking the Blues Brothers. It's made my day. It's cheered me up. Thank you again. And until next time.